We are up north of Santa Fe, New Mexico now. We drove up from Albuquerque earlier today, and then we got into Santa Fe kind of in the midday, so we grabbed some lunch and then decided to go exploring. And we ended up out here at this stunningly beautiful valley area, Pecos National Historic Park. So we're walking up to the remains of one of the churches that's here on the property. We're right above the visitor center, and this is really neat. This is the remains of a small church that was completed in 1717. There's a lot of little walls around here, and then you can see a larger piece of the structure back there behind me. We're on day 2 of our visit to Santa Fe, and we decided to drive up to Bandelier National Monument. I don't even know what's out here, but the drive alone has been worth it. We stopped at the first scenic overlook we got to, and we're gonna see what it looks like. What is this? Huh? Is this a wild Tara?
We're at Bandelier National Monument, and there are a lot more people here than we thought they were going to be here. We had to drive quite a ways to get here from Santa Fe. It was about an hour, and drove up the mountain and didn't see many cars, and we got here and the parking lot is full. We're in the overflow parking. So we're really excited to go in and see what the Junior Ranger looks like, and if there are any easier hikes that we can maybe do while we're here today. Come on, buddy.
We've started along the main loop trail in Bandelier, and this is an important canyon because there's been human activity here for thousands of years. And the reason there's been human activity here is because of this creek that always flows. It may get low, it may get high, but it always flows. And the time we've spent out here in these really arid areas, we've seen a lot of dry lake beds, or river beds, and water is very important. So it's not unsurprising that people lived here because of this creek. It's called the Frijoles Creek. And a couple years ago, in 2011 and 2013, they had flash floods, and it normally flows at about 10 cubic feet per minute. And during those flash floods, it got up to 7,000 to 9,000 cubic feet per minute. So that's a lot of water. These steeps are steps.
These steeps are steps.
Buddy. Yeah. Whoa.
Ben's doing better than you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Mommy!
Look at you, big guy. You were doing awesome.
Mommy!
Yeah. Hi, baby girl.
Hi.
Hey, sweet girls.
People went down that way.
Yeah.
Mommy, I would sleep up
He's number
here.
3 though, so we don't.
I would make this my house.
Look, I
Right.
want to climb the ladder.
And you can sleep up here.
Yeah? Is that big enough for Daddy?
Oh, Ben can sleep right here. No.
Yeah?
Daddy, this is really cute. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. 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 Hello? Hello? Are you with me?
Come to the window, Brookie.
This one I can actually stand up in.
Hello.
This is our house. This could be like the last time I went into could be our house, and then this one could be down.
Guess what, guys? More stairs. Woo! Also, you'll notice that Aaron and I have turned into pack mules because when we started off, we were down in the shade.
High
and it was
30s.
cool, and the wind was blowing. But as soon as you get out here on the trail, it's nothing but sun. So even today, when it's maybe in the 50s, we're down to our shirts and short sleeves, no jackets. So unless you want to carry a jacket the whole time, maybe leave it back at the car.
We're staying in Santa Fe, which is about an hour from here. But this is so worth the drive. One, the drive was gorgeous. Two, this is amazing. We don't know why this is just a national monument. We need to look up the difference between a national park and a national monument, because this is just, I don't even have words. It's so cool to see such old dwellings and how they lived, and they lived in this beautiful place. And thank goodness for the water. We haven't seen water in a long time, except for driving over the Rio Grande back and forth. So even this little creek was exciting for us.
We're coming back up the second half of the main loop trail. The first half you go along the cliff dwellings. You get to go up in them on the ladders and all the stuff you just saw us do. And then you come down across to the other side of the valley, across the Frijoles Creek. And now you get to walk back, partially shaded. It's much cooler on this side. And it's actually really, really neat because we spent all that time really close to the cliff dwellings, and now we can see them from across the valley floor and kind of get a sense just how many there are and how big this was. If you are ever anywhere near this national monument, it's amazing. You have to come here. If you want to come visit Bandelier with children, you can absolutely do that. I've seen everything from, you know, infants all the way up to teenagers. There's a lot of cool stuff to scramble around and climb up over in the dwellings. You just have to make sure they stay on the trail, which our kids are pretty good at. And also on the ladders, some of the ladders aren't attached to anything. They're just leaning against the wall. So you just gotta keep an eye on them. They do good. Ben actually climbed all the way up one and I went up with him. So definitely bring your kids. It's a little over a mile, might be a mile and a half loop, so it's really not too bad. And you spend so much time on the other side, climbing in the dwellings and all that, that you don't really realize how far you've gone. And then the walk back is just, it's kind of a nice cool down actually. Literally a cool down because I'm in the shade and temperatures probably dropped about 10-15 degrees.
Oh, ducked you again.
Go, 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 go.